It is Monday. I hope it's Monday. It should be Monday. It's Monday, March. Let's take a guess here. It's Monday, March 3rd. Is that correct, Deion?
That is correct,
It
actually.
is. All right. I can't even get through the first date portion of this as the host without fumbling over myself. Happy Monday, March 3rd. Officially the month of March, college basketball's favorite time of the year. I am Carter Elliott. I am here with Deion. We are recording this on Friday, February 28th, the last day of Black History Month, and Greg and JK are nowhere to be found. Any comment on that?
Listen, JK's on his fifth vacation of the year as someone who doesn't take vacations. Well, the way JK frames his vacations is truly special. Not gonna lie, he'll be like, "Yeah, I just don't take vacations. By the way, I have 3 of them that are within the next 2 months."
The spacing that goes on with it is somewhat of the worst teams in college basketball. And our gracious leader Gregory is having himself a nice little family day. I think he's currently in Grand Rapids right now. We always support that. Deion and I aren't having family days, so someone's got to get it done.
Have you processed that when Mal gives birth, it's all us for a week or two?
Yeah, honestly, this is a good kind of process for everyone to get used to. We're gonna be coming up with the topics. We're gonna be doing good amount of recording. There are 3 good topics that we picked today, but it was floated, I'm not gonna say by who, that we go through a list of which coaches are most related to Bonnie Blue. But that's not a topic today, but you might get that when the time comes. And y'all gotta rock with us, all right? It is what it is. We'll try to do our best, but we got a good episode today. 3 topics picked by this group truly, but we will start with the YouTube comment of the day, which, by the way, it feels good to be back on the YouTube. Deion, can I get a quick how I feel to be back on YouTube statement from you?
Special. I don't think what's the saying? You never know what you have until it's gone. Well, We're lucky enough to where we had it, it was gone, and now we have it back.
Yeah.
So I think there's an element of just love and graciousness we have for the YouTube.
Yeah, we got them back. Sometimes you lose your main thing and they never come back.
Yeah.
We spun the block and got the main thing back. Shout out to us. Some can't relate. Let's see what we got here for the YouTube comments. Of course, with that late night upload, there's a lot of comments about the Rutgers game, but I don't really want to do that, to be honest with you. Let's see what we can get here. Okay. Actually, I think this is a good one to comment on. It seems that a lot of Purdue fans are upset that we disrespected John Wooden and his connection to Purdue. And I am actually genuinely here to say I apologize. I did not mean it disrespectfully in any way. I just thought it was funny. I like laughing. I like humorous things. Not everything is so serious in life. And I was just joking because honestly, if I was in that position, I once played high school basketball with Ray McCallum. Ray McCallum is a 2-time Greek League champion. I am also a 2-time Greek League champion by association. That's just I'm all for claiming something from people you have met through life once in a while. I sat on a red couch with Robbie Hummel at the Final Four. Robbie Hummel's accomplishments are my accomplishments. I at least played a part in them, in my opinion, at least in that year. So I just want to say I do apologize to Purdue fans because I'm not trying to get on the disrespectful terms with them. I was just joking about it. So we can do that.
I also don't want to be on Purdue fans' bad side, and for that reason, I'm going to have no comment because John Wooden's association to Purdue, I do not know.
He went there.
Oh, okay.
Yes, which honestly I did not know. I'm sorry, that's not great knowledge. But also, if anyone watches this show, last person you want to come through for basketball historian facts.
I mean, John Wooden. So obviously I know who John Wooden is, but knowing how old John Wooden is, why would we know where someone went to college in the 1940s? Respectfully, that's just so long before Card and I were born.
I think that's on us to know, though. I think if we're going to do this, we need to know.
Do we? Well, then I'm gonna be terrible at this because like James Naismith and all them, like I don't like I'm always like I would have gave James Naismith 40 even if he invented the sport.
Well, maybe because we don't do sensitivity training, we'll do just like history training every month. We'll have like a little set aside time where we all just go through historian facts.
Like well, you know how G says like everyone asks for like us to live stream games. What
Yeah.
if we just live stream games from like the 60s and that's how we learn?
Dog, that would be so bad because the things we would have to say would not be good.
It would be terrible.
Just no, like, come on, man. Like, there is no way ISO ball back there is gonna do it for me. I'll tell you that right now. But
No, John Havlicek hesitations, I'm unmoved by.
like, come
I'm
on, man.
unmoved.
Like John Havlicek's one of the great like forwards of all time. He's what, Lou Robinson if he's in today's age? Like, what are we doing?
I don't think he plays on the high school team. Like he's food. He's
Yeah.
food.
All the goodwill we just answered right there by showing respect that John Wooden just went away because we had to compare John Wood or John Havlicek to Lou Odmondson. But hey, it is what it is. It's what you're gonna get on today's episode when you let Deion and me take charge. Let's get to the Discord comments. As always, join the Discord. The Discord is $9.99 a month on your desktop. Building a really great community over there. One of my favorite parts of Deion being in the Discord is how he is so quick just to comment on stuff and be like, "Yeah, hand up. That's on me."
It's my bad.
It's your favorite phrase. Yes, I mean it's on me. I
It's
got
on me.
nothing.
Hand up accountability. Yeah, because they'll be like, yeah, you didn't know that so and so did this on the video. Like, yeah, I did it. My bad.
I did not. Straight up, I did not. Oh, let's see here. You know what? I did the comments ended thing for like 2 days and it worked out perfectly. And I have not done it since. Just why?
It was such a good idea and such a simple idea too. Like it didn't add
So
anything to your play.
nothing was so I am in here reading the comments. I could simply just hit four keys or honestly three. End. That's it. End. And I could come back, but I just don't do it. Maybe I'll do it today. Who knows? But let's see here. Did that. We did that too. Did all the okay. Uh, okay, let's go with this one. This one is lyrics. I'm at the section of the Michigan State Maryland recap where Greg Waddell is discussing how both teams reacted in late game situations of a shot going up with 5 seconds on the clock. I paused the recap because I was thinking to myself, this is why I brought it into these dudes. The details only people who live in the game and relish it. Jace getting a hand up, Kohler getting in position and ready to rebound, the instant pass to Trey already in the outlet position, Queen's matador defense, etc. The only thing he left out, which I'm sure he saw, was Cooper having Reese tied up, preventing him from being able to have an easy putback for a game winner. Sorry for the book, but had to shout that out. Y'all do great work. Deion, I don't think I got your comments on that game winner. Can I get a quick
The
Deion thoughts
Michigan
on
State.
that?
Be honest with you, didn't see it. Just gonna
Insane.
just be honest. The game was at like 4
Oh
p.m.
yeah. Oh yeah. No, it was at 3:30 your time.
Yeah, 3:30.
Yeah.
I watched the highlights of it, but I didn't watch it live to where I feel like I should be able to comment on it.
Yeah. Also, matter of fact, I don't know what the hell I'm like it ain't still a jigathon this way. What's wrong with me? I'm tripping. My fault, man. My fault. We had a big one Sunday. Let me stop.
I was dying when I turned off the episode yesterday. You had the headband on.
I'm listen, I'm gonna have to honor Michigan State great Jigger for debt, as they call him, Jigathon, any form of jig that you could think of. That's my guy.
Question for you on Michigan State though.
Yeah.
G and I were talking about this yesterday on one of the shorts. The Izzo mentioned how everyone cares about it, and it would be different if he had different players. And my mind immediately went to Redacted being on this team instead of Cohen Kakar.
Now Redacted, if Redacted was on this team, we're winning a national title.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Yeah,
so.
100%.
I think
But
so.
also, side note to that, Redacted was a really care about the school guy.
Yeah.
Because,
Still kind of is, right?
yeah, Flintstone, and he still is. And he actually came back for a second year, thanks to Tom. I don't know why, but like he came back for a second year. So, yeah, that comment, I get what Izzo was saying, but also at the same time, it's about getting good basketball players. And like we had bad basketball players. I don't care if they care about the university or not.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, that comment works because this team is super special.
Yeah, if they were bad, we we'd have 9 more shorts on that
Yeah.
comment. I Maynard, 3 times on Bart Torvik this season, Duke has achieved a 100% win probability before the 9-minute mark of the second half. Can you guess who these 3 times were against?
Uh,
Ooh. I know
Probably not.
one was Miami for sure.
One has to be North Carolina, right?
And the other one was North Carolina. Yep. And he's got the answer down here. Illinois.
Yeah. Wow. Hey, Illinois has had some beatdown.
They had that was bad. I mean, they did get back and they beat Iowa and they got Michigan that's on Sunday actually. So yeah, let's see what happens with that one. Let's see. Call me the breeze. Who wins in a pickup game between Sleepers Media and Three Man Weave? What podcast groups would be included in the annual Podcasters 3-on-3 tournament?
No one wants smoke with us. And the problem's going to be when the game's over, no one's going to like us either.
Yeah, I will say this. I'm a vouch for Three Man Weave. I actually hooped with them at the Final Four in New Orleans. Now I was also no, sorry, not in New Orleans, in Houston. I hooped with them in Houston. I was also in hell because listen, it was supposed to be a media game, and we had like some of the. I thought it was gonna be like the media members who maybe hooped a little bit. Houston had their GAs up in there who should have been on Houston's team. They were, I mean, it was fresh in the morning. I had beverages the night before, and they had me in hell. I'm talking about like they were coming off a screen, and he hit one of these. And I was like, this is a media game. What is going on here? But no, Three Man Weave can hoop, but give me G, and Deion in 3-on-3 because mental warfare is a part of the game as well.
Yeah, you and I on the same team would be a problem for a lot of people.
And if it's 3-on-3, you're taking out our weakest link, which is stamina. We don't got to get up and down. You're cooked.
G can shoot too. The videos G's been sending with that, like his jumpers, like nice.
Yeah, so we'll be good. Hey, we'll set it up. I mean, we'll take on the field of 68 if they want to, even though TO is still nasty.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if I want to be on the court with
Oh
Hall.
wait, no, because if it's field of 68, we got to take on like TO. They could have Henson out there.
Yeah, me and Hansbro wouldn't be.
Oh,
We
they could
wouldn't
have
vibe well.
Hansbrough too.
Yeah, we
Forgot.
would.
Yeah, okay. All right, we're second to field of 68, and I'm fine with that. That's okay. Travis Nelson, Greg, do you think Murph will be a basketball player? What other sports do you envision her playing? I'll take this. Yeah, my niece is hooping. She doesn't have a choice. We're gonna figure out if she sucks or not, but she's gonna hoop. There's gonna be effort. And Murph is tall. Like that's for sure. She's tall. Mal was a volleyball player, so maybe volleyball is in the future. But hoops, she's gonna give hoops a try. She does not have a choice.
I feel like with G's nephew just like basically playing for Barcelona,
Yeah,
like soccer has to be considered somewhere too.
that's what Greg gave up on soccer. That's the only thing.
That's true, but he might be like Greg, the individual might not be a soccer player, but like, what if he's just like a special soccer dad coach?
That's true. Greg was a soccer fan for a year and picked Chelsea, and Chelsea won the Champions League, and they were special.
My hope is still that between Murph and Leon, like a tennis player comes out to where we can just be in the box.
We be special in the box.
So special.
So special. What are those drinks they make at the US Open?
Oh, the not the transfusions.
No, it's like a special drink. I can't think of it either, but they look delicious, and we would just have those in the box and cause a ruckus.
The honeydews.
Yeah, the honey. Yeah, like honeydew. 9 honeydews, and in the box fitted, just checking our bets as well. Like it'd be special.
We'd be phenomenal vibes, people.
Just easily, and I'm talking so much shit too. Oh my god. Second part of this, Travis Nelson. How much do you guys follow your local high school basketball? By the time this airs on Monday, boys district champions will be crowned in Michigan. So, shout out to my guy Rick Palmer, my assistant coach in high school, coaches at Brother Rice High School. Now I talk about him a lot on this pod. They are playing for districts tonight. They're gonna beat who they're playing because that team's nasty. On that other token, my high school, Troy Country Day, real fall from grace, have not won districts in like 6 years.
That's
6 years. Dog, back when I was in high school, I actually am not embellishing this whatsoever. We did not win a game by less than 65 points in districts.
But you had you had more than one like. I mean, obviously they had you, Ray McCallum, and then there was other like D1 like
Oh,
quarterbacks.
the team was flooded with
Yeah.
D1 talent. It was great because in those games, like I would play in every single game, obviously, but like I obviously got to play more when we were beating people's ass. So like I was showing like districts was my time to like go. They like let me cook, and I was like, this is great. I also used to be like playing the teams. I was like, damn, if I went to this school that I'm playing against in districts, I could probably like have my jersey in the rafters or something like that.
Yeah, that was always a thought from time to time. To answer the question, I don't, just because like my own high school career, like I can count on two hands how many games I actually got in. So we just like once high school ended, I moved on from high school basketball.
I'm so confused about California high school basketball because like you'll have like 9 different state championship or tournament runs, right? Isn't it like something like that?
Yeah, so we there's like different divisions, but like just because what's different about California versus like other states. So like my school was in Division 4, but the talent in Division 4 was just as good as Division 1. And it's just because like division, it's all based off school size. So all
Right.
the private schools are like lower divisions, but at the same time, that's where everyone goes. But you have to win like sections, the NorCal, like
Right.
the local one. You by the time you get to state, you've already won like 3 different rings. It's weird.
It's always been interesting to me because I follow high school basketball closely, and back like a couple years ago, I was like just very invested in just high school back. Honestly, I think it was like Jared McCain's high school team. It was like him, Dent, and they had Williams who went to UCLA. And like they lost the game, and I was like, damn, like the season's over. And then like next week they're playing again. I was like, wait a minute, y'all are like crying like the season's over. Y'all still going?
Now, there was one year we smoked this team to win sections. They smoked us to go to state like 2 weeks later.
But y'all got sections.
But they got the one that mattered, and I'm still convinced they threw the sections game to throw us off because they knew we're just gonna
Honestly,
have to run it back.
I respect that move 1,000%. Spartan Hog. What state do you think is most likely to win the Natty? Personally, I go Alabama, Texas, Michigan. So you just get every team in that state.
I think I would still just go Alabama and then North Carolina, just because give me Auburn and Duke.
Yeah, and then maybe like hope for like no, honestly, F it, just Auburn Duke and feel good about that.
Yeah, I just need Auburn Duke.
But if you go Texas though, you can get Houston. Obviously, you could get like you
Texas
would have
Tech,
a lot of you Texas Tech.
yeah.
Uh,
Texas themselves, I guess too.
yeah, A&M. They've been
Yeah.
faltering lately, but like they would be in that.
See,
I
the
think
thing is, I'm not sure those teams. Like, if you give me all those teams versus one Duke, I think I still feel more comfortable.
it is going to come down to a crash course of Auburn and Duke. There is a play the numbers factor to this, Spartan Hog. I see your vision, but also I think I would go Bama 1, just North Carolina 2, and then I would go Texas 3 in that case, as much as I want Michigan.
I was gonna say I think the sneaky one's Michigan, because you could convince me State and Michigan get to the Final Four. With Texas, I think Houston's the only one that actually has a real chance.
Yeah, also I would probably make a move where I think Wisconsin comes into the UP too much and I would just adopt them and just hope I get 3 teams. Completely against the rules, but obviously I don't care. This is what happens when you let me run the show. Derek, MSU and Michigan share the Big Ten regular season title, but exit the first weekend of the tournament. Purdue finishes fourth in the Big Ten and makes an Elite Eight. Illinois finishes seventh in the Big Ten, wins the Big Ten tournament, and goes to a Sweet 16. Who had the best season?
Whoever went to the Final Four.
So no one goes to the Final Four.
Oh,
It'd be Purdue going to the Elite Eight, but finishing fourth. Illinois finishing seventh. They win the Big Ten tournament and they go to the Sweet 16. And then MSU and Michigan share the Big Ten regular season title, but they exit first weekend of the tournament.
got you. Who did Purdue beat Illinois to get to the Elite Eight?
No, that would switch me.
That would
Uh,
switch.
this one for me, I understand like the Sweet 16 Elite Eight. I get that. I would take the share of the Big Ten title of MSU or Michigan because over a larger sample size, they proved to be the best team in the conference and they won that title. Like the Big Ten tournament banner is great, but
Yeah.
like you got hot basically for a week and you beat those teams, the same teams that probably beat you earlier in the season. So, yeah, I would take MSU Michigan, even though that might seem biased.
I think I'm taking Illinois just because you're going to be remembered the most fondly and you're going to have the most special summer. Even if, because I think I agree, Michigan and Michigan State had the best season. But if you're a player that's returning to campus, all they're going to remember is you won the Big Ten tournament and then like you went to the Sweet 16 and probably lost to like Duke or Auburn, who went on to win the Natty too.
Right? They would not even remember what it looked like.
Yeah.
Um, let's see here. Oh, Matt, what are your thoughts on Gonzaga being in the Ken Palm top 10?
That was the first I heard that they're in the Ken Palm top 10.
Number 9.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess I don't know how.
I don't get it. It's one of the more frustrating things ever. They're just not that good, and the metrics love them because they blow out bad WCC teams. Like it's infuriating, but listen, that stuff will handle itself in the tournament. Gonzaga is going to be going home so quickly. I promise you. G Vinny, would you consider? Oh, let me make that. Man, people are Michigan State fans leaving novels today, man. Would you consider one home versus Wisconsin, John Tanji, and at Iowa letdown spot in Fran Voodoo and Carver Hawkeye, or two home versus Illinois, so much talent, and home versus Maryland, bigs on bigs, a tougher stretch leading up to senior night at the Braz. I think the gauntlet MSU has had up to these games would give them the edge, but curious your thoughts on just this 2-game stretch. I think Michigan's 2-game stretch is harder.
So it's so they Michigan State plays Wisconsin, Illinois, Maryland.
No, Michigan State plays Wisconsin at home, and they go on the road to play Iowa.
Okay.
Michigan has both games at home. They have Illinois and Maryland. Which stretch do you think is harder?
Oh, definitely Michigan's because it's because State's getting Wisconsin at the crib.
Yeah, State's getting Wisconsin at the crib, and then like I get the Mackey, or sorry, not the Mackey, the Fran Voodoo and Carver Hawkeye. Iowa stinks. Stink.
The McCaffrey family, including Christian. I don't know if Christian has any relation, but anyone with the last name McCaffrey, I'm very unmoved by. Very unmoved.
I think we do need to have a McCaffrey just breakdown in general. Let's see here. Ulamog, to pay respects to what would you eat at the turn video being deleted, please use this comment as a way to brainstorm a similar topic. I don't know if Ulamog knew this was going to happen, but this timing could not be any more perfect. Deion, have we changed our turn order whatsoever?
I haven't, but I'm playing way worse, so I'm moving on to a double transfusion from a single.
Double. Have you had a transfusion? Are you a tequila guy?
If I drink tequila, and this is a good warning for when we're at the Final Four. If I'm having tequila like around 1, you just want to stay out the way. Like make sure we got to be on the way back to the crib.
Got you. I will take note of that. Because I'm in this phase in life where I just sub tequila into things like tequila espresso martinis, tequila transfusions. You just throw tequila in and it's fire. Swear to God. Fire.
Tequila espresso martini, like that feels like such a terrible combination for like your insides. It's crazy.
Yeah, it might be, and I feel like a kill when I drink it, but it's delicious. I can't front. Let's see here. Call me the breeze. Are there any technology firms in Michigan that could sponsor the show? Malik Perry, any? Honestly, wondering where Malik is. I haven't seen Malik in the comments.
It feels like the YouTube channel going down, kind of like Malik went down too a little bit.
Yeah, hopefully we get Malik back. I miss Malik.
Yeah.
And then last comment, Call Me the Breeze says, please bring back the scripture reading on Fridays. Obviously, make sure it's kosher with YouTube first, which means that there are plenty of channels devoted to that topic. Actually, yesterday we did it offline because we're scared, and we're not scared. We're compliant. We're compliant, and we don't want to step on any toes. So we made sure that we were all good in that case. We did our reading offline, and I'll let y'all know it was fire and it was very fitting. but could not let it go on the show, unfortunately.
Riley's bag is like crazy to me. Like it could be anything at any time.
Yeah, a kid special. Shout out to the Riz. That does it for the Discord comments today. Shout out to the Discord. We are presented by nobody. We are just compliant. We had a great week of being compliant. We look forward to being compliant. We are YouTube's biggest ally. We are their biggest advocate. We are their strongest and best soldier, and we are going to do our best to always be arm in arm, hands in hands with them. YouTube, we love you. We hear you. And we will make sure that we are doing everything right moving forward. Deion, anything before we get to the show?
If ML, I know he's listening to this. ML, if you have any companies that want to sponsor us, we're open.
See, now we're about to get to something that ML is going to text me about later. Well, what company would ML most suggest the sponsor of this show?
I mean, honestly, how crazy of a world would it be if like someone's NIL fund sponsored us just to like see? Like
Oh,
that doesn't seem that crazy.
that's what I want. What I think Greg brought it up yesterday. We just want a sugar daddy, low key, just
Yeah.
like someone who's has $9 million in Love Sleepers Media, like and just funds this show. That's what we need. To answer that question, though, I feel like ML would have us sponsored by like a painting with a twist place.
Like a wine and art type of
Like a wine and book exchange. Like that. ML's gonna text us so expeditiously if he ever listens to this. We love you, ML, but we had to do it. Let's get to the show. Topic number one today. Gonna go a quick layup topic here. Whenever I need a quick topic outside of making up stupid things, I like to tap into my guy Jeff Borzello, friend of the show, friend of the pod. And every year ESPN comes out with like a criteria that they go through, and then they work through the 8 teams that could win a national title. Now, it's a very extensive list. There are 22 teams that are near misses. You have the rest of the teams, obviously, that are not in contention in the other group. Some of the near misses that are notable, both Michigan and Michigan State are in that category. UConn, Wisconsin, Kentucky, Louisville, Illinois, still in the near misses category. So that's a question for another day. But Deion, what I want to do here is we're going to go through the 8 teams that they think could win it all. And I want to know if we agree, if we think someone else should be in this group in one of the places of those teams, and kind of just come up with our own 8, or maybe just agree with Borzello's 8, because that's always fun to do. So here's the 8 teams that could win it all. And we'll go one by one and we'll say yay or nay. And then if we need to, we'll go back and we'll add a team. Alabama Crimson Tide.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah. I think it's fair to say, look, they have the depth, they have the talent, they have the tournament experience last year going to a Final Four. Mark Sears is incredible, and now he's starting to actually play up to the National Player of the Year level, and not like, getting benched and stuff like that. So, like, I'm very much in on this Alabama team winning it all. The one inkling that scares me is that this team cannot check. They cannot check a lick, but they still deserve to be here, I think.
They can't shoot either. That's my issue with them. They just can't shoot. But I've been saying it for like a month or two. I think they're the best team in the country. They just play a style of basketball that I don't think fits them. Whenever they just decide to like go to the basket and then that lends to their threes, I think they're better than Duke or Auburn, to be honest.
Yeah. And on that note, great transition here. Duke and Auburn are on this list. We don't need to discuss it. They need to be on this list. They cannot be moved. I will not let them be moved. I should have just said their names first and got to the rest of the episode, but that's fine. Duke and Auburn on the list. They do not need any type of mentioning on there. So we have Duke, Auburn, Alabama so far. Moving on, they have Florida, the Florida Gators. Now, I love the Gators. They scare me a little bit in endgame situations. Elijah Martin's a little bit inconsistent, and they have injuries. Deion, where are you at with Florida being on this list?
Are they going to be at full health in a couple of weeks?
I don't know if that's fair to assume.
Yeah, that's my fear. I think they play the most like what's the word I'm looking for? Travelable? That's not a word. That their game travels. Like the way they play, like they can play that style of basketball in any arena, no matter who's watching. Like come tournament time, I'm not big on the teams that shoot it really well, because you go from shooting at home to a neutral site that's typically like an NBA arena, and then the Final Four is normally at these massive, massive arenas that lend towards like worse shooting splits. I don't think you have to worry about that with Florida, because offensive rebounding, defense, and then just having 3 legitimate 20-point per game scores, that's going to travel wherever.
Yeah, and look, I was gonna make. I'm obviously scared for some of Florida's losses, right? Like, even though there's not a lot of them, like, I just think some end game stuff scares me a little bit. But when you look at it, Florida is a top 10 team in adjusted efficiency, offensively and defensively. They have some of the best wins this year. They won at Auburn. They beat Tennessee by 30. Like those are two really good wins, and you can't argue with where they're at metrically. It's really a health thing, and I'm gonna go ahead and give them the benefit of the doubt and say they're gonna be healthy. So Florida belongs in this group. And now the next teams, this is where I think maybe there might be some differentiation that we can talk about in this one. The next team is St. John's. St. John's Red Storm and Ricky P. Had a great year. I think they just wrapped up possibly.
Yeah, they won it.
They won the Big East, like, or they can win it outright, I think, against Seton Hall. But they for sure got a share right now, right?
Yeah, because Pitino became the first person to win a conference title at 5 different schools yesterday.
That's an insane stat too, by the way.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm sorry for all my Ricky P thoughts last year. I sent out some very slanderous memes in regards to calling him like Paul Pierce on the Wizards. It was bad. It was bad, and I repent for my sins, Ricky P. You are an incredible coach. Look, they've been playing crazy basketball. Kadari Richmond was the one who kind of like was the prized possession of the transfer portal. He's finally starting to like really get it going, I think. And then RJ Lewis is a legit like Big East Player of the Year candidate, in my opinion. So where are you at with this St. John's team? Because as good as they are defensively, they can't like shoot worth of shit. And they also like can't make free throws. So there's like a little bit of like Michigan State to their game, the way they like lack offense. But they also have the stars. Like they have Richmond, Lewis, they have Ejiofor down low. Where are you at with the St. John's team? Do they belong on this list?
So for the exercise, do we have to leave it with 8 teams that can win, or can we have less than 8?
Ooh, you know what? In true sleepers fashion, shout out to the mid rankings where we had 17 teams. We can just cut this down. So if we want to add more, if we want to cut people, we can cut people.
So I was gonna say, if we have to leave with 8, I think I would have St. John's on the list. But if we could just cut a team, I think it would be St. John's. I do think the way they play, similar to Florida, it's going to travel. Like, no matter who they play against, you're going to have a tough game. I don't think you're ever going to get like we just rolled over St. John's game with the level of defense that they play, the intensity that they play at. Like, you never have to worry about Rick Pitino having this team play 100%. And I think that matters, especially come tournament time, because that's what you're hoping happens. Like when you play Duke or Auburn, they just drop a dud. Probably won't happen, but that's the hope. You don't have to worry about St. John's dropping a complete dud ever.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Like I think they're the second best team in defensive efficiency. The defense is fun to watch. They're everywhere. They fly around the court. It's actually funny because Rick Pitino's like, I'm getting all my fat, unathletic dudes out, and we're gonna check. And like he did do that. And Ricky B just like is his team's biggest haters, and it just works. Like, and I honestly I respect it. The one question mark I have, and the reason I want to leave St. John's off is can what they do be sustained for 6 straight games in March? Like they have the guys, they have the personnel, they have the defense, but like on the same token that we want to take Duke out because they play in the ACC, quietly the Big East has been kind of mid this year. So like, I don't know. I think St. John's deserves to be off this list. So yeah, as good as they are, we are going to remove St. John's from the list. Next up, we have the Tennessee Volunteers.
Ooh, I don't believe in Tennessee.
We ain't got to get into this. Listen, I'm completely okay with being on the wrong side of history and like them getting this done and Rick Barnes getting over the hump and Chaz Lanier being great and all that. That is fine. There's a world where that happens. I just don't want to be on that side. I don't want Tennessee on this list. I could give you numbers. They might be wrong. I don't want Tennessee on the list.
My only thoughts on it is similar to yours. Like, I'm not going to run the numbers or nothing. If you're telling me this is a carbon copy of Dalton Connect's team, and Dalton Connect was a Rookie of the Year candidate, and Chaz Lanier is not going to be drafted, and that's the biggest switch. If it didn't work with Dalton, I just don't see how it would work with Chaz, respectfully.
Yeah, and on a more serious note, I don't trust the player. Like I know people think Ziegler is a very trustworthy point guard. They trust Lanier. They trust all the guys. I personally don't. I don't trust them. It just looks like they're not going to make it there. They might make a run, but they're not going to make it there. And then last team they have on here is, oh, sorry, not, we have two more teams left. Iowa State.
Nah.
Yeah, they faltered. And I know it's been like injuries, illness, and things like that, but I don't know. I just don't know if I don't think they're all going to be healthy at the same time. So I got to keep them off the list.
Also, Burger to me, there's no shot. That's how you pronounce his name. I apologize to TJ for
I think that's
that.
actually it.
Really? Okay. He's the perfect like losing the Elite Eight coach.
Mm.
Like he just has that vibe where it's like he will one day probably take a job that's too big for him and then go back to a school similar to Iowa State. Like I think and I don't mean that as like disrespect. Like to be a top 10 team in the country so consistently is phenomenal. I just don't think he's going to be able to get over that hump.
Yeah, I feel that's fair to say. And then last, they have Houston.
Oh yeah, Houston can.
Houston's in there, and honestly, it's Samson, it's the defense, it's them getting over the hump. But for me, the big part of it is what Milos Uzan is doing right now. Now he's finally getting comfortable. He's being like they wanted him to be the Jamal Shed. He's starting to have some Jamal Shed to his game. I love this Houston team. I think they're one of the safest bets, honestly. I mean, obviously they're not the safest to like Auburn and Duke, but they might have a higher ceiling. But as far as like the safest team to make a Final Four this year, that pick would be Houston for me. I love this Houston team.
Houston need. I was telling G this yesterday. I don't know what I have to do in my brain, but Houston needs to be in that Auburn Duke conversation. That's like closer to a 3-team race than it is two, and then gap Houston, in my opinion. There's a school or two I would add to this list.
I was gonna say, so right now we have Auburn, Duke, Bama, Florida, Houston. So that gives us 5 teams. Now I'll list off quickly the 22 teams that just missed the criteria, and you can tell me if you think some other teams should probably be in here. You have Arizona, Baylor, Clemson, Creighton, Gonzaga, Illinois, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisville, Marquette, Maryland, Memphis, Michigan, and Michigan State, Missouri, Purdue, St. Mary's, Texas A&M, Texas Tech, UCLA, UConn, and Wisconsin. So we
One of
had the
those
5 teams
Michigan,
I said. Is there anyone you think we should add to this list?
one of the Michigan schools.
One of the Michigan. Well, they ain't add Michigan, so we're gonna add Michigan State because you know what? And I feel bad because I know what we're gonna get on here. How dare you keep St. John's off, but you're taking Michigan State off? We're keeping Michigan State on because Tom Izzo said he's gonna die trying.
Well, low key, I mean, with all due respect to Kadari Richmond and RJ Lewis and them boys, I'm taking Chase.
Yeah, Jace is special. Jace is special, and if Jace is going to be a 30-minute a game guy, we had a segment on the other day talking like a Kemba-esque run with maybe some lack of a talent around him. I think Michigan. Also, you know who St. John's doesn't have?
Jeremy Fears.
No, they ain't got Jig. All hail the Jigathon. Come on now.
Also,
Yeah,
Cohen in a Final Four would be legitimately fun.
yeah, like the open practices would slap. I think you add Michigan State. I don't know if I would add. I mean, personally, I want to add Texas Tech, but we kept Iowa State off for injury concerns. Texas Tech has those same concerns. Is there anybody else that you want to throw in this group?
I mean, if not Michigan, I think I'll Arizona. I just think there's the one team is gonna get hot at the right time and go on a run. Arizona feels like the most likely, like we're just super hot in March team.
Yeah, and they got Caleb Love. He's been there. This is like his 9th March Madness. Like he's gonna be comfortable doing that. All right, so our list is Auburn, Duke, Bama, Florida, Houston, Michigan State, Arizona. I feel good about that list.
I do too. I will say the last 2 teams, once you say it out loud, you know the meme of like the clown in the army meme.
Yeah, especially after the teams we took off. Like the fact that we took off Iowa State, Tennessee, and St. John's and then added Michigan State and Arizona, that's not going to be received well.
No, it's
But
very
that's
us.
fine. That's fine though. Topic number 2, new Gavoni mock draft just dropped for 2026. So there's a little bit of a look ahead here. He came out with his top 10 picks projected in this, a very loaded group up top, as Gavoni put it. And some very heavy hitters at the top of this list. I'll go ahead and read it real quick here. Not going to do the teams, but Gavoni's top 10 for 2026. You have Darryn Peterson 1, AJ Dybantsa 2, Cam Boozer 3, Nate Ament 4, Jaden Quaintance 5, Kareem Lopez 6, Chris Sinak 7, Caleb Wilson at 8, Dash Daniels at 9, and at 10, Michael Brown. Now, Deion, we can talk about the top 10, but the main point of this topic that I wanted to talk about is Darryn Peterson versus Dybantsa. Obviously, Dybantsa he's a enigma. I feel like he's in Paris Fashion Week. He's playing for Utah Prep. Like he's getting millions of dollars to go play high school. He's got a Red Bull deal. Like he's going to BYU. I mean, there's a massive spectacle around AJ Dybantsa. As the children, the kids say today, aura is with AJ. But Gavoni has Darryn Peterson 1. Now I'm a big Darryn Peterson fan. You go back, actually now you can't go back because I think it got deleted. But damn it, like 2 years ago, I was like, yeah, Darryn Peterson is like what Book is for the Suns. Like I think he's like a point guard who's not like he's not necessarily a point guard, but like Book kind of got into this role where he needed to play a little bit more point guard, at least last season. Now they got Jones in the fold, so he can play off ball a little bit. But when he gets on the ball, I think he can have some really good passing chops. And I just really like Darryn Peterson's game. So, Deion, I ask you this. You're a GM, which is a scary thought, by the way. You might not even pick either of these guys one. But
No.
if these were the two guys at the top of the board, are you going Darryn Peterson or are you going AJ Dybantsa?
I would take Cam for what it's worth.
Cam Boozer?
Yeah, if I had one, I think I'm taking Cam because Cam to me is just like his pops, where it's like everyone's going to be talking about everybody else. He quietly has 30 and 10. And you just don't realize it. I also think Cam, his play style is way closer to Cooper Flag than anyone talks about. He doesn't lock in the same way defensively, but I legitimately think you can make Cam your ball handler at the 4 spot. And that advantage I love. I will say this, if it's just the two, I'm taking AJ because as much as I love the idea of Cam being my ball handler from the power forward position, I hate when 2 guards are the ball handler. I can't stand it. It to me, it creates no advantages on the court other than this player can't play off ball, which is just a weakness in my opinion. Like they're like when a Cam Boozer or a Cooper Flag brings the ball up the court, that creates motion and you can run a pick and roll with the point guard and maybe get a switch, get advantages anywhere. A 2 guard brings the ball up the court. It's literally the same thing as the point guard doing it. It just admits that you can't play off the ball. So that's not a slight to Darryn Peterson or Devin Booker. I still think Darryn Peterson is going to be a phenomenal player. It's just not the brand of basketball that I would want my team to play.
Yeah, also just hilarious because I agree with your Cam Boozer point. You also are just risking it all because you could be the GM that passed on Darryn Peterson and AJ Dybantsa.
It would be crazy.
And I guess we haven't talked about this, Deion. Dybantsa obviously his size, his athleticism, the shots. I mean, I know that G's not the biggest fan of his game, thinks it's a little bit just kind of just, I don't not even as a slight, but like Jalen Green kind of esque. Like he'll get you your points, but like you can't build a team around AJ Dybantsa, so that's not gonna go anywhere. And I think I might feel differently, but if the thing for me is that if I'm because they have the Wizards at the first pick, right?
Yeah.
This is gonna sound like a slight, and I don't mean it as a slight. AJ Dybantsa going to the Wizards, I think would just like him, like that'd be bad for his career. Like I just think it would go to die. Like I think his playing style wouldn't be sufficient to that. If the Wizards are taking Darryn Peterson one, I think bringing his mentality to the Wizards would actually help a little bit. Like they don't need a guy that is like flashy doing all this other like no disrespect to Dybantsa, get your bread, but they don't need that, right? They got Jordan Poole, they got other guys to do they used to have Kuz, like they don't need guys to do that. They need guys that are like gonna play like a more winning style brand of basketball. And personally, I just think Darryn Peterson's more of a I can win with that guy than AJ Dybantsa.
I will say this. So if the notion is we're going into this not thinking any of the top 3 can win a championship as the first option, Darryn Peterson's easily the player I take. The reason I take Cam is of this group, I think Cam's the easiest one to build a franchise around. I think Dybantsa and Darryn Peterson, you would need some other stuff next to them. When Darryn Peterson gets the other stuff, he's the one that could be on a dynasty though. Like he's the one where it's like, wow, Darryn Peterson won like 5 rings, 10-time All-Star, so on and so forth. Because him as a first option, and like we've seen it with Book, it just doesn't work in my opinion. And Dybantsa, same thing. Dybantsa needs the ball just as much as anybody on this list, whether he wants to play point guard or not. He needs the ball a lot. I hate the idea of him in New Orleans with Zion.
Yeah, I don't need that whatsoever.
Hate it.
Looking at the rest of this list, obviously you mentioned Cam Boozer. The one thing I will say about Cam Boozer, I think Cam Boozer being obviously Carlos Boozer's son, and then at the same time, he's been so successful his whole career that I feel like he's just been kind of waiting out his time to get to college, and people just find anything to nitpick at him. Like this dude, like Cam Boozer has won EYBL titles every single year that he touches the floor. He's won high school titles all the time. Like he has just been the consummate winner since he touched the floor, like all 4 years. And he's going to be incredible at Duke. I don't doubt that whatsoever. Honestly, great draft if you're going to be in the top three. Outside of that, there's some question marks, but just touching on some of those guys, Michael Brown, I think is special. Like
Special.
I get Kyrie vibes when I watch him. I think he's just a special talent. Christian Ack is up there as well. I'm very interested to see. He's committed to Houston. I think he's going to be really good for Calvin Sampson. Um, I wish we had Nima at the helm right now. Is Dash Daniels Dyson Daniels' brother?
He is. He is. He's a little bit better apparently too.
All right, I'm gonna put my hand of accountability here. I need to tap into some Dash Daniels. I was unaware that Dyson even had a brother.
Yeah, so he was like think like LaMelo and Lonzo. Like if Dyson's Lonzo, Dash is supposed to be like the max
Oh,
player.
like the flashy brother.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that. Then you can't take. Actually, I just okay. So what I need to do is I need to follow Dash's tendencies. I don't need to see game film. I need to follow his IG. I need to see how he acts because that boy Lamelo is a wild boy. He's cold, but he is so wild.
More so on the court. Off the court, I don't know if Dash could keep up with Melo. Dash also doesn't have some of the teammates that Melo has to be fair.
That's true. All right. I just want to get your post check on where that. So just so we get it out there, GM Deion is taking Cam Boozer one. But if he's picking between Darryn Peterson and Dybantsa, you're taking Dybantsa one?
If it's the number one pick, I'm taking Dybantsa. Yeah. If it's like 2 or 3 and they're both still on the board, I think I take Peterson. I think Dybantsa is more likely than Peterson to be the first option on a championship team. So that's kind of how, if I'm picking top 5, that's kind of how I'm deciding who I would take.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. And given everything that's around it, I don't think you want to be the GM that passes on Dybantsa. Like that's part of the NBA. You don't want to be that GM to pass on like there's going to be. Thank God there's not going to be some GM out there that's going to overthink this and pick Ace Bailey or Dylan Harper over Cooper Flag.
Well, listen, Paul George, and the Sixers might be picking number 1 too. By the way,
That'd be honestly. I hope it happens because it'd be a content dream. But yeah,
hey, the player on this list I wouldn't take, with all due respect, Jaden Quaintance.
What?
He's a 6'9" center.
He's not 6'9".
Is he not 6'9"?
I think he's 7 foot.
Is he 7 foot?
I think so. Hold on now. We might need to check on this. Oh, he's 6'9"?
Yeah, he just has a crazy wingspan, I think.
Oh no. Oh.
Also, if you know you're going to be a top 5 pick as a sophomore, how in the world are you not getting drafted as a freshman? Like,
oh no, he can't.
Oh,
he's not old enough.
Got you. Okay, I might be back in then.
Yeah, no, he literally has to come back to college.
Got you. Okay, I'm back in. I was just in there. I'm like, this kid's already a freshman, and he knows he's going to be top 5 in the stronger draft class.
Yeah, no, dog is actually like 17 still. I think like he's ridiculously young.
Okay, so shout out the Hurleys.
Yeah, I'm disgusted that he's 6'9". That kills me, but we'll figure it out. Shout out to Jonathan Gaboni. Topic number 3, you're at a roundabout or a stop sign. No, we're gonna keep it all basketball for this. I don't know. I was thinking about a stupid topic. I do want to make it known that Deion did want to find out which college coach was most like Bonnie Blue, and I had to ask that.
No, I have a list of them.
How many are on the list?
Well, it's 2 or 3. It's just coaches that like obviously bounce around team to team.
I don't even know what to do with that. So we're gonna get to the actual topic here. The topic on this one, Deion, we are gonna come up with, we'll come with a 6-man team, a starting five and a 6-man on players that can return to college basketball next season. I'm gonna put a caveat here or a couple caveats on this one. You can only pick one player from each team. I don't want to do the whole let's just get all the guys returning for Purdue because that'd be a good one, or guys returning from one single team. One guy from one team, and there needs to be at least three. No, let's go two sophomores on this list. I don't want to do all super seniors or anything on this list, but let's go with our best five returning to college basketball next season, and then have a 6-man as well.
Now, by sophomores, you mean freshmen currently that will be
current
sophomores.
freshmen that will come back for their sophomore seasons.
Okay.
So I think we can get some easy ones out the way. You're gonna get Braden Smith on this list. He will be back.
Definitely get Braden, and then the other easy one is Kalkbrenner's 5th year, right?
He's not coming back. He's gone.
Okay, that's good because it feels like he's been in college forever.
He has, and he is gone.
Yeah, no, Braden for sure. And then I was gonna say, Danny's gone in my opinion, or do you think he stays?
I think Danny's gonna come back now, so I think Danny would be on my. I think Danny would be. Let's put Danny at our 4 until we figure out what we honestly we could do. Danny at the 4, Jaden Quaitness at the 5.
Jaden definitely should be on the list. I was gonna say him or Merez.
Oh, we will have Merez on the list too. We sure we want Danny? We do want Danny.
So here's my thing. I think Danny's gone. This kid went to Yale and is talked about as a 1st-round pick.
Okay, you know what? For the fun of this exercise, let's say Danny has a tournament run and he leaves. Okay. So let's have Braden at the 1, Quaitness at the 5, Merez at the 4. Lack a little front court shooting, but maybe we'll figure it out. Hopefully, I think we need to get enough shooting around those guys. So who do we want at our 2-3 in this spot?
So this is another one where I think I'm 50-50 on what he does. So I would defer to you. Isaiah Evans.
Yeah, that's our 3. That's 100% our 3. I think that'd be our 3. Is Seth Trimble our 2?
See, what's interesting about Seth is I think he's perfect next to Braden, but I think he's terrible next to Merez and Jaden.
Because you think we need like some shooting?
Yeah, we need a little bit more shooting, but we also, whoever that shooting is, has to be able to make up for Braden. Braden's not. Oh no, Braden's a bad defender. He just is.
Yeah, he's an instinctual defender, which kind of means he's bad.
It's terrible. He's in the right spots from time to time, but he's like Brandon Podziemski style good defender, where he'll make 2 plays that you see, and then there's 50 where it's dang, where was Pods at on that one?
Where was Pods at on that one? Yeah, I think that's fair to say. All right, who we could get at this spot to get some shooting? Mm-hmm. Solomon Ball from UConn.
Yeah, Solo Ball.
Ball. He's a 2.
Could we slide Isaiah down to the 2?
Who you throwing at the 3?
Will Riley.
Will Riley's gone.
Will Riley's gone? Yeah, that's right.
And we already picked the Illinois guy too.
That's true. The other one I had on this list I had a few others on but one of them I had on for fun. Cannon.
Cannon could be our 6-man.
Cannon's gonna be really good somewhere next year.
All right, let's go Cannon as our 6-man. Let's go Isaiah Evans at the 3. What about John Blackwell from Wisconsin at the 2?
Ooh. Yeah, I could get behind that.
We could do that. And you know what? Given, what I'm going to do real quick here, because obviously the thing Deion and I are going to do, we're going to miss some people. I just want to make sure we're not missing anybody obvious here. But our current lineup would be Braden at the 1, Isaiah Evans at the 2. Or sorry, John Blackwell at the 2, Isaiah Evans at the 3, Merez at the 4, and Quaitness at the 5. Are we missing anybody obvious here though? Because there's actually nope. Put my foot down. JT Toppin is a sophomore from Texas Tech. I'm sorry, Merez.
I was gonna say the other one too is again it's 50-50. But there's 2 players I can think. The one of them's Jace. I think Jace is a goner.
Yeah, he's gone probably.
The other one I was thinking about is redemption year AJ Storr.
I don't want AJ Storr on my team. And honestly, as much as I love Braden, actually, no, for the fun of it, I like that lineup. But real quickly here, let's do just guys that are going to be sophomores next year.
Okay.
At, at my one, I want Tahad Pettiford.
Is Tahad back?
I think so.
Hey, if Tahad's back, all that like Bruce Pearl leaving Auburn stuff, kill that. Like, kill that.
I got Tahad at the one.
Honestly, if Tahad's back, I might want Tahad even if Braden's on the list. I
That's
just like the idea of Tahad being on my roster.
Do we think LeBaron Philon's coming back for Bama?
Nah.
Okay. All right. I would go Tahad Pettiford at the one. We could still have Quaintance because he's gonna be a sophomore. We'll put
Isn't
Quaintance.
Philon already a sophomore too?
No, he's a freshman.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Oh
Yeah,
shit.
he's a freshman.
He's the old freshman.
Is he an old freshman?
I think he's already 19.
Classic. I love that, by the way. I love 20-year-old. Just be 20-year-old freshman and cook. Let's go to Hod Pettiford. We still have Isaiah Evans. We can still have Jaden Quaintance on the team as well. Now we just need like a 2-4 at this spot.
Jaleel Bethea.
Redemption, Jaleel Bethea. Give me Jaleel Bethea at the 2. And then at the 4 spot.
We could get lazy and just do Merez again. Or Drake Powell.
Let's get lazy and take Merez. Yeah, I love that. By the way, like if I could sign up for that sophomore team, yeah, that'd be I bet them to the Final Four.
Is Malik Brown a freshman?
Malik Malik Brown
on Duke?
On Duke? No, he's a senior.
Senior? Oh.
Actually, no, not a. I think he's a junior. He'll be a senior next year, I think.
Man's interesting too. I feel like Man's obviously probably gone, but he's starting to fall into that range where like maybe.
Yeah, and my one sleeper pick would be Christian Anderson for Texas Tech. I love that kid.
The other one I want to say, I don't think there's a world Jeremiah Fears returns. Like, I don't think there's a world, but the way his dad's talking, he jumps everybody on this list if he actually comes.
Yeah, there's some certain guys that are like NBA first round draft picks that we're leaving off here. That they could, if they come back, they immediately come into our starting lineup. But if it stands the way we think, that'll be our starting 5. That was a fun exercise. Now I'm excited about next year already. And let me lock in for this year. That's on me. One big thing presented by compliance. Always compliant all the time. Deion, the floor is yours.
Yeah, listen, I'm a follow the law guy through and through. Follow the law. My one big thing, appreciation. We lost something near and dear to our hearts this past week, and we got it back. And I think you're going to see a different version of all of us moving forward, where it's just like, yeah, we're just happy to have the YouTube back. We're happy to have the comment section. I won't be in the mud as much anymore, just because I'm going to be happy to see the comments, positive or negative. And I'm just going to be gracious that they're there. I do want to call JK out. I texted him this yesterday. Not having a first day out edit ready to go as soon as we got the channel back. That's something that has to be discussed. He told me he was concerned. He's playing a PGA Tour course. JK, you're not on the PGA Tour. No one is expecting you to be good on this course. Like, no one cares. Like, everyone knows you're not going to be good on this course. The first day out video, the moment you have a double bogey, you order a tequila shot, you show everybody the video, no one knows you just shot 70 on the front.
That's very true. Honestly, we hold JK to a high standard because we know what he's capable of, and no one else does it. So it's time for us to do it. My one big thing is I'm calling out Amazon. I'm calling out Amazon. I understand it's a massive company. I understand there's a lot going on. They're going through the motions, man. They're going through the motions. Things are half packaged. I got delivered a wireless keyboard that straight up doesn't work. I'm calling. I think they need to just. They're getting just a wee bit too relaxed for my liking. I understand it. Also, like I'm paying for Prime. When it used to be 2-day shipping like that. Now it's like, what am I paying for Prime? I'm getting it a week later. If this is my last episode because the Amazon goons come and get me, just always remember me as a great one. But yeah, I'm calling out Amazon. I'm challenging them to be better.
No, I agree. And I'm not trying to like take work away from anybody. Amazon delivery drivers have one of the toughest jobs in the world. feel more comfortable when my packages get delivered in trucks than someone's personal car. It's something aesthetically pleasing about seeing the FedEx truck pull up. The brakes barely work. We're wondering if the person can get out of the parking spot they pulled into. It's just something that I enjoy about that. When they made the switch to like you can drive your own car, like I don't rock with that.
Yeah, who's this pulling up to my crib? I'm watching the Ring camera, like, wait a minute, they're in my
Hey, can we
driveway.
get some shirts? Because like I'm looking at the camera, like, yo, who has my package right now?
A name tag, something, please.
Something.
That'll do it for today's episode. Appreciate y'all joining up. Happy March, happy madness, happy whatever y'all celebrate. I don't know. We're out of here.